Shalom, shalom. All praises and glory goes to Yahweh by Hashem, Yahushai, by Hashem Rakakwadash. Double honors to the apostles of Great Millstone and salutations unto the elect men feeding the sheep of Yahweh by Hashem Yahushai in sincerity and truth with this great gospel that is coming out of our Bible. And this is like the worst time on earth to be Esau Edom, to be an Edomite, right? To be an Edomite, because what? His wickedness is being revealed. His shame is being brought to light, right? The hedge that was around him, that protection, the blessings, the talks about it, what his father gave him a blessing, right? And the dew of the fatness of the earth, the dew of heaven, right? And the blessings of the sword, right? And he has used these things to the best of his ability, and he still won't be able to hold on to this kingdom. He still won't be able to hold on to this kingdom. And these other Edomites, lower class Edomites, they're seeing that it's the end of their society. It's the end of their world, right? Economically, right? Spiritually, they've been abandoned Christianity. They ain't thinking about no Christianity. You just seen the fake rapture prophecy that failed miserably. Right, that's what happened when you're following BS. When you're following BS, right? Because Esau Edom's whole system is built off of what? Robbery, thievery. And now the elites are robbing their own people. I'm going to read the book of Proverbs 10, verse 24. It says, "The fear of the wicked, it shall come upon him, but the desire of the righteous shall be granted." Right, it says, Proverbs 10, verse 24, "The fear of the wicked, it shall come upon him, but the desire of the righteous shall be granted," right? The fear of the wicked is upon him.
And I've been listening to the president's press conference from the White House, where the president of Turkey, Erdogan, patiently sat by and listened to the president of the United States gaslight the people of rural America and indeed the entire world. And I'm just going to put this out there. There were so many different things that were sophomoric and third world and made no sense. But this video is going out directly to my fellow farmers and ranchers around the United States of America. Are you going to allow yourself to be gaslit again? The president says, "Hey, you want to take a side break here, a little sidebar. Just want to let the farmers of this great country know that we're going to set aside some tariff money to help you out. And don't worry, the payoff is coming. The payoff for the tariffs, it's coming. Just hold tight. It's on its way." First of all, farmers and ranchers, the tariff is a tax on the American people. I would really encourage you not to go out in public and say that coming. Just hold tight. It's on its way. First of all, farmers and ranchers, the tariff is a tax on the American people.
I'm going to read the book of Psalms 62, verse 10. It says, "Trust not in oppression, and become not vain in robbery. If riches increase, set not your heart upon them." Right, set not your heart upon them, especially in this society, because these riches is about to fly away. These riches is about to vanish. It says, "Trust not in oppression." Also in this society, oppression has been put in the form of what? Salvation, right? And with these tariffs, right? The tariffs is to tax the American people, right? Tax the American people, not the other nations. The other nations ain't losing nothing. What else are other nations doing? If they can't do business here, they gonna do business with other people. Don't forget, there's more people around the world than in here in Babylon. And you got this new currency with the BRICS trying to take over and destroy that dollar. Right? It says, "Trust not in oppression, and become not vain in robbery. If riches increase, set not your heart upon them." And them devils, boy, they was getting riches for a long time. Right? They was getting riches for a long time, and just overnight, riches is vanishing through the C-19, right? Through these different tariffs, through these different rules and regulations and laws that's been passed. Right? It's not a good time to be Esau Edom.
First of all, farmers and ranchers, the tariff is a tax on the American people. I would really encourage you not to go out in public and say that it wasn't the American taxpayer that paid for the bailouts that are coming. It was the tariffs. I would really encourage you not to say that. I would really encourage you to do just a little bit, a modicum of research to understand what about 35% of us farmers understand, and that is that companies in the United States pay these tariffs and they pass it along to their consumers, and in the end it is nothing more than a tariff tax on the American consumer. So every dollar that comes out of quote unquote the tariff money that's been raised is money that came out of the American consumer's pocket. And you would do well to remember that when you're out there bragging about the fact that it was tariff money that paid for the subsidies that are coming. Second of all, how long are we going to sit around and buy into the president's argument that good things are coming for American agriculture as a result of the tariffs? Why can't anyone in this administration, including, how long are we going to sit around and buy into the president's argument that good things are coming for American agriculture as a result of the tariffs?
This is the book of Ezekiel 7 and 6. It reads, "An end is come. The end is come. It watches for thee. Behold, it is come." Right? That's what these Edomites understand. This is the end of their world, the end of their society, the end of their greatness, the end of wealth. Right? What's their next game? They're going into captivity, right? They're going into captivity. The scripture said they're about to be as they have never been. I'm reading again, Ezekiel 7 and 6. "An end is come, and the end is come. It watcheth for thee, behold, it is come." Right? And these there's nothing they could do to stop what's coming. There's nothing they could do to stop what's coming. Right? You got Esau trying to push more money into the system. Right? You got Esau trying to revive their different political base, trying to get them keyed up. Democrats trying to get keyed up, thinking they're going to win the next election. Republicans thinking they're going to hold on to the House, right? All these different things going on in this society, not knowing what the Lord is coming. The Lord is coming. Also, these angels are stirring up the minds of these rulers of this society to go towards what? World War fucking 3, right? 1 Peter 4 and 7. "But the end of all things is at hand." It says, "Be ye therefore sober and watch unto prayer." Right? And the only people who can pray is the children of Israel, the elect. That's the only people whose prayer is going to be heard. Right? Esau wasting his time. Why do you think these Edomites stop praying? Right? They moving towards their blessings, which was the weapon. Right? They preparing for a collapse of a society, a collapse of a system.
How long are we going to sit around and buy into the president's argument that good things are coming for American agriculture as a result of the tariffs? Why can't anyone in this administration, including the agricultural secretary, explain what that looks like? Why can't they explain what that looks like? Why can't they say, here's how it's going to pay off? This is how the tariffs are going to pay off. Because all of the experts across the board, Democrat, Republican, Independent, economic experts here in the United States and internationally, say there is no payoff. Agricultural purchasing is the easiest way for countries to strike back against the tariffs that the United States of America is leveraging around the world. This is why we've lost 35% of the markets in China and growing every day. This is why China only used to buy 13% of their row crop commodities from Brazil. Now they buy over 40%. This is why we just had a major purchase of soybeans from Argentina and not from the United States of America. Nobody in this administration can explain where the payoffs are coming from in regard to these tariffs for American agriculture. We are being gaslit, and a lot of you are still falling for it. Coming from in regard to these tariffs for American agriculture. We are being gaslit, and a lot of you are still falling for it. It is time. It is time. We experienced this during the first 4 years where we needed the biggest farmer bailout in the history of this country, in the last year of the Trump administration and the first 2 years of the Biden administration. And here we are again looking at the biggest farmer bailout in history because of the fact that we have lost row crop markets all over the Trump administration and the first 2 years of the Biden administration. And here we are again looking at the biggest farmer bailout in history.
This is the book of Proverbs 11 and 21. It says, "Though hand join in hand, the wicked shall not be unpunished." Right? That's what's happening. The wicked is being punished. Right? And what's another thing, man? These devils been getting nothing but help and assistance for a long time. Right? You got the black farmers, they saying they can't get no help, but Esau Edom, he's been getting help and assistance, different subsidies, all these different things that they give to these devils, right? Matter of fact,
and around, white Americans are the real welfare queens, not the communities they love to demonize in political campaigns and around their dinner tables. They are the real welfare recipients. They've been fed on free land, free money, carve-outs, and bailouts for generations. While pointing their fingers, they are the real welfare recipients. They've been fed on free land, free money, carve-outs, and bailouts for generations, while pointing their finger at everyone else, especially the blacks, saying, work harder, stay diligent, and you too can be me one day. What a fraudulent, self-serving sham, especially the blacks, saying, work harder, stay diligent, and you too can be me one day. What a fraudulent, self-serving sham.
I'm reading the book of Proverbs 24, start at 19. It says, fret not thyself because of evil men, right? Neither be thou envious at the wicked. For there shall be no reward to the evil man. The candle of the wicked shall be put out. Right? And you can't be envious of the wicked, because what happened? All the wealth of the envious is being taken away. Right? They didn't get this wealth through hard work. They got this wealth through what? Thievery, robbery, right? Deception, right? Unrighteous dealings. And riches got by deceit. That's why this kingdom's about to be translated from these wicked people to who? The children of Israel. Right? I'm going to read again. Proverbs 24:19. Fret not thyself because of evil men, neither be thou envious at the wicked. For there shall be no reward to the evil man. The candle of the wicked shall be put out.
Because that money came directly out of the pockets of the American people. Don't go out there and tell people that it's being paid for by the money collected from the tariffs, because that money came directly out of the pockets of the American people. And don't be gaslit anymore. It is time for farmers and ranchers across this country, even if you can't admit you were wrong, just admit you were lied to and step up and say, you're not buying what this administration is selling anymore. Money came directly out of the pockets of the American people. And don't be gaslit anymore. It is time for farmers and ranchers across this country, even if you can't admit you were wrong, just admit you were lied to and step up and say, you're not buying what this administration is selling anymore. You're just not buying it. They've cut billions of dollars, $137 billion they've cut from rural health care. And they gave you $50 billion of that back, and they're asking you to thank them for that? $137 billion they've cut from rural health care. And they gave you $50 billion of that back, and they're asking you to thank them for that? As your rural hospitals close, the hospitals that are going to service your grandkids and your kids, if they're ever injured in a farm accident like I was, or if you ever have a major health emergency which causes you to need health care, they cut $137 billion from that, gave you $50 billion back, and they want you to come crawling on your hands and knees to say thank you?
Right? Esau can't take it, man. This is a reality that it's going to be hard for them to cope with, for them to get used to. Right? And guess what? It's only going to get freaking worse. It's only going to get freaking worse. Hospitals closing, more schools are going to shut down, more businesses, more stores, right? The grinding is going to be low. Right? They trying to replace Esau with robots. And he's not feeling this society right now because he's losing. He's losing. It's the end of his world. Matter of fact, let me read this again. It's the book of Proverbs 10:24. It says, the fear of the wicked, it shall come upon him. It shall come upon him. But the desire of the righteous shall be granted. Right? So it's over for the wicked. Shalom.